And welcome to the Diablo Podcast, your home for Diablo diehards, tryhards, casual, and hardcore alike. I am your host, Xanth, and today I'm joined by the one and only Nerdwords.
Hello.
Nineball is recovering from a hernia surgery. We wish him well. In fact, I did talk to him today. I was like, "Hey, you're alive. You want to come join a podcast?" And he was like, "Well, I'm on a boatload of opioids, and I don't know how great that would be. I honestly think it'd be great content."
Yeah, I'm in.
He was more concerned about falling asleep than being loopy, but Nineball is alive and
Fair.
well in the recovery process and should join us for the next episode. So we got that.
Nice.
So we got a couple things to chat about today. We want to talk about how we're shills. We want to talk about duping and how that is continuing to plague Diablo 4, and then really address what needs an update. After kind of playing through season 9, what are the things that are still feeling kind of nagging, knowing what they've already addressed and said that there'll be a skill rework. Well, okay, what else would we like to see reworked? And I've got one that I really want to talk about, and I'm excited to kind of get to later on. Um, but let's get right to it. Recent play. What have you been doing? What have you been playing? I'm assuming still predominantly Diablo based, but where you're at. Last time we talked, if you missed last episode or are just tuning in for the first time, hey, welcome. Welcome to the show. It's a tiny niche podcast. I don't know how you got here, but I appreciate you. And like and subscribe. No, we're gonna talk about being shills, and when I say that, that's what I feel like. Um,
Nice.
But last time we talked, you were only beginning your journey through season 9. Where are you at? What are you doing?
I'm much further now. Much deeper into the Paragon. I think I'm
Level
close to
45. Gotcha.
level 45. No, yeah. Yeah. I'm approaching the end of my Paragon journey, depending on how much more the game keeps me engaged. But yeah. I mean, I'm playing Sork. I always play Sork. Hydra. This season's been super fun. Very different build, but super fun. Yeah, I was doing Nightmare Dungeons earlier, just running around, smashing stuff. I haven't finished my journey yet, but I could have finished my journey at this point. I kind of haven't. I'll probably do that soon, but yeah, still haven't. I mean, I'm not playing like um, heavy every day. I've had a lot of work stuff and personal stuff kind of coming up here and there, but I mean, I've been playing 3-4 days a week, like a little bit here and there. So yeah, still staying pretty active with the season. It's been a slower season for me because I've had less playtime, so um, it's kind of extended the lifespan of the season for me because of that.
Nice. Uh, I abandoned my druid in softcore torment 3. Just kind of
Okay.
chilling. I felt okay, but what I really have dove into is I said I was thinking about it. I haven't lost interest in the season, so I made a hardcore character. Typically, that's
Okay.
how I would start a season. I was like, okay, I'm chomping at the bit. I could play a little bit more. I want to do hardcore. So I made a Sork.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
she just
Okay.
crossed into Torment this morning. Um,
Nice.
I've been carving my time up. I've been mainly reserving it for like when I'm running or just a little bit here and there because I'm balancing a couple other things. I've been playing Cyberpunk, and then the new Donkey Kong came out. Lots of different games vying for my attention. And normally in that scenario, when I've got a couple other things I want to be doing, Diablo has been pushed aside. And for some reason, it hasn't right now. I've been engaged with the Sork, and then I've been watching a little bit of Spiritborn. I've been like, it's already locked in where it's like, hey, if this Sork dies, I might I might make another character, which is not something that has happened in the past 2 seasons, and that feels okay to me. Like there's something's there.
No, 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 no. Hang on, hang on, hang on, hang on. that's awesome.
Yeah,
That's the intent. That is the goal, right?
right.
You shouldn't feel bad or weird for that, So, no, that's awesome.
No,
Good.
I think it's also there is some coupling too. The new Path of Exile 2 season has been pushed way to the end of August, where it's like, okay, I've got a little bit more
Okay.
of a runway. I can just kind of
Hmm.
enjoy this. I have the soft core druid just sitting there if I want to plow through whatever the season, whatever's left on my season's journey. But right now, I'm having fun just kind of dicking around with the Sork, planning a
Hmm.
Spirit Born for after that if it does in fact die, and just enjoying things. I think I spent a lot of time complaining about Nightmare Dungeons on the last podcast, and I am not changing any of my opinions. I do think the original base dungeons need that rework, but what I really really like is chaining Nightmare Dungeons. I like getting the key, immediately going to the next one, to the next one, to the next one, to the next one. I I like that game loop. I'd love to
I've
see.
liked it too. I've liked it too. Like the strong rooms and the stuff with the Roderick, with the season. Yeah, I've enjoyed it too. Like that's, I have pretty much only done that all season. I haven't done bosses yet. Like I actually still have not done bosses yet.
Hmm,
Thankfully, not a huge unique requirement on the build. I had a friend who had an extra Ophidian Iris, so like I was able to throw that on, and that's really all you need to kind of get the build. I mean, it's already online anyways, but like that just kind of takes it to another level. So yeah, I'm with you. I've been running Nightmare Dungeons nonstop. That's all I've done. I think I ran. I got into a group with a couple of buddies and ran Astroth once just to kind of get it done and see the fight. But yeah, just been running dungeons.
hmm. Yeah, it I like it. It is it very much is what I wanted Nightmare Dungeons to be
Hmm.
initially. I would say like bosses being a little bit more varied would help, um,
Sure.
uh, or having more choice in like how you kind of tackle Nightmare Dungeons. But overall, like the loop itself feels good. Fix the things for the original dungeons where you can bypass all of the things that you don't need to have, the animus
Hmm.
of it all, and then we're in a good spot. Like the Nahatu dungeons are perfect for me. That's just what I want. But it has
You
felt.
know, it's funny. You mentioned that last podcast, and
Yeah.
that has stuck in my head since last podcast because now whenever I see a green one, I'm hitting the green one first. I always hit the green one first now. I don't even look at the affixes. I just go, keep going because I remembered you saying that. And yeah, you're right. Those ones are more pleasant to do. Like
Yeah.
I hadn't realized the noticeable difference in them. But yeah, no, I agree. And I've been implementing a similar strategy. So.
Yeah, it works real well. It is fun to play with, especially when it is very straightforward. And
Mhm.
even when you're getting a little bit lost, looking for the end, you're just like, well, all I gotta do is get to the end. I don't have to go
Yeah.
find that extra stone tablet. I don't have to go find the one, animus dot or the one monster that hasn't decided to join in the rush that was supposed to be there. Nope, I'm just running to the end. It'll be fine. The backtracking
Mhm.
doesn't feel as painful then, but overall, real good. I did. Have you encountered any of the Nightmare Dungeons with like a unique modifier, like the Treasure Goblin one?
No, not yet. No, I have not.
I pulled that one this morning, and that was again a nice little like treat of like, oh, there's a way more goblins in this dungeon, and now I'm gonna go and find them. I didn't get anything amazing, but the
Hmm.
promise was enough to kind of keep going, and now I'm checking every key. Like,
Right.
oh, okay, all right, I like that.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
Right, I'm okay
Nice.
with that. Um, in tandem, we also had like the additional whisper drops and stuff like that,
Right.
which is fine. I thought whispers were really great during the witch season when they were all like tight and together and a part of the journey. And whispers now just feel they still feel a little bit more clunky as opposed to like
Sure.
streamlined.
Yeah, I can see that.
So yeah, streamline it. Maybe that's a conversation. Maybe we'll table that. We'll come back to that at the end.
Yeah. I mean, I've enjoyed Whispers, but yeah, I've really this season I've just engaged with Nightmare Dungeons. Like you said, I've enjoyed the loop, right? Like finish the dungeon, go to town, click another one, go to the dungeon, right? It's just like it feels like running rifts, but the I don't know, it's like you, it's gripped me more this season for sure. The rework has worked for my brain.
Yeah. Um, so it's good. I mean, we spoke 2 weeks ago. Here we are, both still playing. That's a good sign. Because there's been quite a few of these podcasts where it's like, yeah, I'm done. Or
Yeah, sure, yeah,
I'm not gonna play anymore. I don't like this season. Um,
yep, yep.
so good signs. Let's talk about shills. Let's talk about let's give context. So
Okay,
I am a Diablo partner, humble brag, and you are not, which is
right.
part of this process. Um, that means there are sometimes things that are available to us that we get to see, and one of those things happened 2 weeks ago, in which there was a call in which we were invited to get information about upcoming things with Diablo 4.
Hmm.
The only thing I'm allowed to say is that that happened and I enjoyed it. That's it. In tandem with that, there were a bunch of other creators who said the exact same thing, right?
Hmm.
And a few publications picked that up and ran with it, saying like people got a look and they're excited, yada yada yada, and sometimes extrapolating out to try and figure out like, oh, what the context must be behind certain things.
Right, right.
As naturally, when you put out a thing that is ambiguous, people are gonna want to speculate, right?
Hmm.
Then the conversation changed from like excitement to just complaints about people shilling and like this not about myself, right? Because this tiny little channel and this tiny little podcast, I think everybody can recognize we're not doing it for money, right?
Oh, I don't know. I'm only doing it for my.
With all of the gigantic checks that I have been cashing off of
Yeah,
this podcast, um, but larger streamers, so on and so forth. The accusation is that people are driving or using this to drive more interest towards Diablo, and like some of it, like under the most basic scrutiny, makes no sense. But
hmm,
let's just bring this out there: nobody's shilling. All You don't have to say something unless you necessarily feel it, and I think that was the tone. Like, hey, you
mm,
if you want to, you can say something. And people saying something is just a reflection of their own feelings,
right.
not some sort of marketing scheme. Now, that being said, I think
Well, I mean, well, I have
yeah,
thoughts
no,
on that, but okay.
I don't think you're wrong, right? What does a partner program do? It collects a bunch of people who have their hands in different pots and can broadcast information out, right? It is a marketing tool of sorts, right?
Sure.
So it's not to say
It
it
is
isn't
people that have a public following, image, persona, content creation that they expect by giving them information and getting them excited that it will get others excited. That is so technically is a marketing scheme, but I mean,
technically it
like,
is a marketing.
sure.
It is marketing in and of itself,
Right.
but to have a bunch of people vague tweet stuff is, in my opinion, isn't great marketing, right? It is
Right.
just
It's just hype. It's just
it
building up
yeah.
excitement. And what's wrong with that?
No,
What's wrong with building excitement? You know?
it is the backlash, of course, is interesting, and obviously everybody's got a right to their opinion. I think there is some people who are conflicted because what they had heard from people going into Vessel and what they had heard from people in previous other iterations of information. Maybe they do feel a little spurned, right? Maybe they do
Mm,
feel a little jaded. And what I can say is like I look back and getting to review Vessel of Hatred, right? Um, what I felt at the time still holds true. I felt like the game was in a pretty good spot. It
Hmm.
felt right, but I was playing in a closed loop, right? I was playing on a
Sure.
small server with a bunch of other people who were playing it for review and weren't exploiting it, right? I'm
Right.
not built to go and find all those exploits. So the game did feel pretty good. It did feel great. And then the Quill Volley build happened and everything went to shit real quick.
Yeah.
So suddenly my
The power
opinion,
gamers got a hold of it.
right, my opinion and what I thought becomes distorted. And then what I was hoping for and what Vessel was going to bring and the seasons didn't exactly come to fruition. That the initial season was lackluster. Um,
Hmm.
Nothing really came off of it, and then we started our cycle of borrowed powers, and here we are today. So I can definitely get people feeling spurned, right? Of like, hey,
Hmm.
we we were with you, and then well, this didn't quite go the what we were hoping for. So why should we trust you now, or
Sure.
what have you? Um, I think that's okay. I think it's okay to be um, apprehensive, right?
Sure. Yeah.
But
When you should be of anything. I mean, let's see. You should be, right? As a fan of anything that is controlled by capitalism, right? So like we live in a capitalist society. I'll give you a great example. I'll give you a great example because I feel some type of way about this. This is a great kind of tangent, but I think it fits in greatly. Tragic news yesterday. We're July 23rd currently. July 22nd, Ozzy Osbourne passed away, which is tragic. It's awful, right? Amazing musician, right? Whether you loved his music or not, whether you loved Black Sabbath or not, right? There's no doubt his impact on the world. Today, McFarlane Toys announced an Ozzy Osbourne statue. The day after he died. And the worst part is that it's up for pre-order because it's not made yet. They didn't have this made and ready to go. And then, oh God, this happened. Let's drop it early. It's, oh, Ozzy died. Tell you what, let's throw up an image real quick of something that we can make very easily and see how many pre-orders we can get on it today. And to me, that is people abusing. That is capitalist society abusing fandom. And video games do it. Sports teams do it. Everyone does it. Welcome to capitalism, team. Um, there's always a little bit of exploitation in marketing. It's what it is. In content creation and everything you do, there's a little bit of exploitation, just like there's a little bit of self-indulgence and a little bit of yeah, it all kind of flows together. It's an unfortunate part of the world.
hmm, well, this is a bummer. Um,
Sorry.
it's okay. I'll live.
I think we all will,
Yeah. Uh, Anyways,
theoretically.
the capitalism of it aside, I don't think anybody making comments is shilling.
Right.
It it's silly. But hold on to your skepticism and let's see what comes of it down the road, right? Um,
Yeah.
okay. Transition. As we talk about capitalism, I think there is a nice transition to economy there, right? Capitalism, economy.
Hmm.
And if capitalism is fucking things over, well, the Diablo economy is been fucked over.
Hosed. Yeah.
Um,
Hosed. Yep.
I brought it up before, but I thought we would take a little time and let's talk about duping.
Okay.
Duping has been a part of Diablo since the first one, right? Being able to duplicate items so that you could give away to low level players, so that you can give to your friends, so that you can just have a bunch of godly plates of the whale or whatever it was. Duping has been in every Diablo.
Right.
It wasn't as big of a deal in Diablo 1, predominantly a single player game, though you had some BattleNet in there. Diablo 2 is when it becomes a bigger deal as you're trying to incorporate more group play and you have a trade economy of sorts. Diablo 3, they took a turn to figure out how to prevent it as best they could. Um,
Mhm.
and now Diablo 4. Every single season, duping has been involved to the point that trading has been shut down several times over the past
Mhm.
2 years to get a handle on it. But if you're to pay any attention, like look, unfortunately, like look at all the RMT ads that you get served in your daily life, because if you are seeking out a Diablo podcast, you are probably looking at more Diablo information, and you're probably being served an ad for boss materials right now. Um,
You're
look at
welcome.
look at how quickly those ads come online when a season starts,
Right. Yeah.
because they are selling those boss mats within what, 2 days, 3 days, at a
I mean,
ridiculous rate.
very fast. Very, very fast. Yeah.
So let's talk about duping. Um, have you ever purchased any duped materials? Have you ever went out and to save yourself time, to save?
Intentionally?
Yes,
No, no. I have made trades for items that were duped and been duped. Thus,
we got
right?
him,
Like,
Blizzard. We got him. This is a
yeah.
bust. We've been planning this the whole
Oh, I mean,
time. Come on,
here's
hold on.
so first and foremost, I have never, until I was much older and much better at video games, never played Diablo 1 without duping. I've never played that game without duping piles of gold. Because it was easy and it was the most simple duping trick you could ever do ever. And you felt like you were the smartest person ever because you discovered it or because you read something about it, right? It's really stupid. But I remember being a kid and definitely remember duping gold and duping items and selling for gold in Diablo 1. I mean, playing that game dry without duping is pretty challenging. And I've done it now, but back then I was a poser. Diablo 2, Diablo 3, obviously, I mean, I didn't engage in any duping, but like I definitely traded for SOJs, and then my inventory emptied whenever the server, like, you know what I'm saying? Like whenever you'd have that, like the server catch up. I definitely like, oh, I'll trade my jaw rune for, a bunch of SOJs, and that way I can trade those SOJs off, and then wasn't even thinking about that. How does someone have that many SOJs? Uh, Duh, right. So lesson learned. But yeah, that's my experience with duping is I got before, but
I like the deep dive into duping history. I feel like I should uh do that myself. Like
yeah.
um Diablo 1, I did not, my first couple playthroughs, I didn't even know duping existed, right? I played through the game, had a great time, and like I think I was complaining with somebody. I was like, "Oh man, I my one playthrough I got the grandfather, and I've been trying to get it again. I just can't." They're like, "Well, just you should just dupe it." Like what? And then they told me of the tool that I needed, and I downloaded it, and I was
In
just like,
Diablo 1, you can just that's the one where you just drop it on the ground.
there was I forget what tool it actually was, but you could, yeah, just make things happen. Um,
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
yeah, it was,
There's a better way to dupe. I didn't even know it. Okay.
yeah, it was pretty great. And then I got to, again, it just lended to more experimentation, more playing with it. But that was the last time I duped in a Diablo game, because then it was online. And much like you, I encountered that. Like, how do people, I just assumed everybody was just so much better than I was, or was playing more than I
Right.
was, or was better at the economy than I was. Like,
Yeah.
oh,
That's one way to look at it.
I I will never be able to keep up with these people. I will never get that item that I want because I don't have 50 stones of Jordan to trade. I don't even have one stone of Jordan to trade.
Yeah.
Like, how could I ever do that? Diablo 3, nothing. No, I mean, I didn't dupe and didn't encounter any duping. But then Diablo 4, right? Here we are with Diablo 4. There is no delineation between trading and non-trading servers, right? There's no solo self-found mode. there's no way to tell that somebody's done it legitimately anymore.
Right.
I will point out that Path of Exile does this really well. Like you have multiple modes, and trading is a part of Path of Exile. It is
Hmm.
not an ideal system. It still involves a web page auction house, and you have to whisper other players and go to them and trade them and all of that. But it works, right? It is a system that exists and can work. They have a currency auction house that's built into the game, so you can trade your various crafting materials, um, not items though. So there's that bugaboo, but that is there. And then they have a separate mode where if you don't want that, if you want to only play with the things that you have found, that your characters have found, you can do that.
Hmm.
Why do they have those? Why not just let trade and you just don't have to engage with it, right? Because everybody gets hurt when somebody starts duping. You and I both that you trade, right? Like you've traded in Diablo 4, right?
In Diablo 4, I have not. I have friends that have. I've watched them kind of go through the process, and but I have not engaged with it myself.
It was several seasons ago. I needed something. I think maybe it was early Vessel when runes were getting going, and I wanted to make a particular rune word happen. I just didn't have it.
Hmm.
I started to dig into how to trade, right? It's not as easy as Path of Exiles, though it's not impossible. There are Discord servers. You have a trade chat, right? You could, that thing that you've already muted and you never pay attention to. There is a trade
I
chat,
actually do pay. I will say that that's where I catch trades the most
right?
and learn values of things. Though typically people aren't super accurate with their values in there from what the market seems to be. But I actually do watch trade chat. Um, I know it's the meme of it, right? But maybe that's the WoW player in me. I'm used to just leaving it on and just seeing what happens.
Yeah, and I think it's fair. Watch the chaos unfold. Um, but I found myself hitting a roadblock to get that particular rune that I needed. The amount of gold I had wasn't enough. The runes that I could offer wasn't enough. And why was that? Well,
Right.
rampant duping. All of the things I was looking for were plentiful out there, but the price had gone up so much that the things I had to offer were also plentiful and thus worth significantly less when it came time to trade. So I was stuck in a self imposed, in some ways, solo self found because of the way the economy was kind of being pushed out there. And in some ways, we are all punished and prevented from even wanting to dip our toes into trading because of how rampant duping has become. Or you could also flip it and say, like, even if you're not being punished, through trying to trade, the other thing that people are getting through duping are boss materials, right?
Yeah.
How many
And that's
Belial
still a thing.
runs?
I assume that's still a thing, right?
Yeah. Oh, it is. How many Belial runs are you able to do with your own mats that you find by comparison to the person who's able to get a bunch of duped mats, right? To be able to do 200, 300 Belial runs without even thinking about it. Whereas if I were to do 200, 300 Belials, that might take me by
The
myself.
whole season.
Yeah,
The whole season.
right.
If you're lucky, yeah.
If I'm lucky. But you're able to do that in essentially an afternoon, courtesy of that market that has been rapidly inflated. Now, what does that in turn do? Like, why is that a problem? Well, what if you're making the game and you see your players are killing bosses at a rapid clip, right? 200, 300 times a day and then still not quite getting what they want. But is that the average player?
I mean, no, absolutely not.
But who's more than likely going to be able to say, here's my 200 plus boss runs that we've done. This is what I want to see happen. I think it tilts. I think it affects the way the game can be interpreted. It affects the
Sure.
perception of the game, right? Because people are doing things that are outside of the normal loop because it's easy and it's accessible courtesy of that. And then does the game become balanced around having or expecting that a player should be able to do that throughout the course of a week, 2 weeks?
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
I mean, it's super skewed. I mean, it's when you think of it that way and like kind of how the way it affects the economy, it's yeah, it's kind of cumbersome. I mean, like at the same time, like I don't really engage with trading. I have friends that do, but like all my friends that do are like the most giga of my friends. Like typically I'm up there with them, but just like playing hard for, many, many weeks um in a Diablo season. So they have the funds, even with the duping, they can still go make purchases, even with the inflation due to duping and things like that. But yeah, I haven't engaged in because it feels really weird to spend as much gold as you need to get certain things. It's just like that's ridiculously expensive. Like that feels a bit weird. Um, but I also don't think that that's. I mean, I engage with trades in Diablo 2. I enjoyed trading in Diablo 2, but I didn't love it. Like there's moments where it was awesome when you found a cool item that you weren't going to use and you were able to trade for it. You were able to like start a game and oh my god, someone's actually here and oh my god, they actually have the thing that I want. Oh my god, they're actually going to do it and oh my god, it worked, right? But it was good because it was so rare that it worked that way, right? It was usually more complicated or a longer process or whatever. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think that like trading in Diablo 2 was fun to a point, but I think it got old as well. And since then, I've never one of my problems with like the people that worship Diablo 2 the way that they do. And again, I love that game; it's one of my favorites ever. Was that like I didn't find enough fun gameplay loop, right? Like I wanted to just play the game. You could, but there was also a point where like to get the jaws and the birds that you needed, right? To get the things you needed, unless you were just really lucky and found them and had all this time, you had to kind of trade up for them. And that was not a fun loop, right? One of the reasons that kind of helps or like keeps me from fully engaging in Path of Exile is the same thing. I'm not interested in engaging in trade. I just want to play the game. I want to kill stuff. I want a good story. I want it to look great. I want the gameplay to be fun. I don't want to go to a forum to meet somebody to trade for a freaking rune to put in, whatever. Like that's not fun to me. Um, but yeah, the way that duping affects the economy though is it kind of brings it down on everybody, right? And then again, those are the people that are the loudest when it comes to, what needs to be changed, what needs to be better. But that's not the experience anyone else has or most other players have.
Yeah, it's a unfair dichotomy of like what is to be expected of a player, and I would hate that. Like we've talked about it before, like you have these bosses that have built in these challenging mechanics, and Dariel is a huge pain in the ass, especially if you're trying to run her 200 plus times, right? Because you have an abundance of these mats that are pushed into the economy, and then you could debate, and it's a different conversation about boss rewards too. But if you're able to do it for that long, it's going to seem even more tedious. Maybe buff the rewards and eliminate the duping, right? Maybe it's like a two birds one stone, where everything feels a little bit better if you don't have as quick access to these mats and the items are better along the way. But itemization is a different conversation for a different day. Let's get rid of these
Sure.
mats because they are a problem, right?
Mm.
And I'll go. I agree with you about Diablo 2. Diablo 2 trading. I mean, much like the ladder reset, right? Those WUG games that you would have were um, for
What you
those.
got, dog?
Yeah, for
What
those
you
of you
got?
who never played Diablo 2, it was usually you would walk into a trade. It would just say like the lobby would say trade, and you would type in wug or what you got, right? Um, and then you would
And then wait awkwardly for whoever it was that was in the middle of their, Chaos Sanctuary run
right,
to stop, town portal to town, and then answer, and stand there awkwardly while you respond, and then you don't have what they want. Nope, no thanks, and then right back to doing their Chaos Sanctuary run.
right.
Yeah,
They would load up the trade window with a bunch of different things. You would hover over and you'd be looking for your whatever it was, your Sigyn, or for me it was always Worm Skull. I always wanted Worm Skull. I thought it was the coolest helmet ever.
that's like it's not even that's so cheap.
I'm thinking like early Diablo 2 days. Like it just stands out.
Like pre LOD.
Yeah. Um,
Okay,
I just
okay,
want
that checks. That checks.
I wanted
If
Worm
it was
Skull.
post LOD, it's like, bro, that's like 10 chip gems. What are you
Right. But
talking about? Yeah.
when I was in the midst of trading, that was what I was looking for. Um, and then you would see they didn't have it. You would leave and you go to the next one, or you'd create a game, need this, bring what,
Well, I mean, to be fair, like let's go to the more specific route because that was kind of the general trade feature.
right,
But if you were like let's say you dropped a Shaco, right? And you'd be like unID'd Shaco for your Istroon,
right,
right? And start a game. But then no one joins. You like run around doing stuff for a little bit, just kill time. No one joins. Cool. New game, same name but two, right? And then no one joins. And then by by the time you get to unID'd Shaco for Istroon 46. It's like, oh, I've got an Istroon, cool. But would you take two Mals instead? And you're just like, see, this is what I hate, right? It's like
right.
even when you try to get specific, you still had people that were like, what you got in you, wugging you.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean,
yeah,
the other part of it is like it was a great thing for the time, but the second I loaded up World of Warcraft and interacted with that auction house,
auction house, GG. Yep.
it it was the end of it. Like it felt like, hey, we've really nailed down how to do this, that we can have players trade, they can create an economy, and everything will be okay. They're setting the prices for what they want. And then they did that for Diablo 3. And the gold auction house was legit.
Yeah, but they also tried to combat. See, and this is where it gets really weird and a little wobbly because they tried to fix duping in Diablo 3 with that, but it wasn't just the auction house and the real money auction house. It was also through account binding items,
Yep.
right? Like binding items to your character that you couldn't trade. That's what World of Warcraft did, and that stopped people from binding or from duping items. But that just made the gold duping go crazy in World of Warcraft, right? Like that's what they do because that's not. So like, do you just bind everything to your character so that they can't be duped, so you can't trade them anyways? But then then what's the point? There's no trade economy at all then. So it's I don't know. I don't know how they control it. I don't know how they fix it. But
Right. And if you look at Diablo 4, like what are some of the things that they've done already? Like, so you're already, when it comes to items, you only have class specific loot, right? It isn't the D2 days of getting, and that was Diablo 3 as well. You have that smart loot feature so that you're not getting other
mhm,
classes, which then prevents a little bit more of that open trading when it's like, oh, I found, I'm thinking like if you and I are playing together, oh, I'm playing Druid, I found the Iris for you. You can take that amulet,
sweet.
right?
Yes. Yep.
We don't have those kind of moments, which is a little bit of a bummer,
Which has
but
been really cool because one of my buddies normally plays Necro, played Necro, leveled to Sork, had an Ophidian Iris. When I hit 60, he's like, "Hey, I'm not gonna use this. You can take it." So like, that's pretty cool.
right.
Now, mind you, that skips a pretty meaningful part of the loot hunt for my character. It's not a great one though, so I got to replace it. But it still feels cool to be able to do that. I'm glad
Right.
that those moments can exist in Diablo 4. I think
Yeah.
that's good.
But going back to it, trade is a different issue in and of itself, but it is directly impacted by duping, right?
Yeah.
As we are plodding along this year, we have at least one more season, right? And then whatever the next year will hold, many more seasons to come. Duping really needs to be addressed. It needs to be fixed. I don't. I'm not saying that Blizzard is neglecting it. I'm sure that they are trying, but when it's a couple days into a season and you're getting targeted ads for these RMT sites, that's an issue, right?
Yeah.
If they are legitimately like, you can't prevent all these accounts from going on and grinding out the materials and selling them that way. You're never going to stop that, right?
Right.
But stopping the duplication of a bunch of these things from flooding the markets and affecting the way people play the game would be ideal. Um,
Hmm.
I can't imagine there's anybody out there who's just like, I don't know, people should be allowed to dupe and buy what they
I don't
want.
know. Dupin's pretty cool. Yeah, I don't think so.
Right? Like,
I don't think so. I don't know, but I don't think so.
it cheapens the experience for everybody. It sets an unfair expectation for what your items are worth. It prevents like that good moment of like, oh, I found this good rune. I could maybe trade that. I could maybe get something better as a result. Nope. There's about 100 of them out there now, or 200, because somebody's been duping them, and that doesn't have the value that you thought it should, despite it being rare. Um,
Yeah.
so let's get on that. Let's fix that, please. um, tell me I'm wrong. Yeah, I guess is the other point. If anybody out there is an adamant dupe supporter, let me know. I'm curious. I'd love to pick their brain.
Or if there's a positive we haven't thought of, right?
Right.
Maybe there's a positive we haven't thought of. I don't think there is
Is
one, but maybe there's a positive we haven't thought of.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Is there a pro of duping? I mean, I guess like maybe the fact that people are able to, there is one aspect, right? The fact that people are able to do 200 plus runs of a boss to point out the loot tables just aren't that great. That's good data from one perspective.
Yeah,
Like,
sure.
hey, this isn't great. But then it's also like, shit, I'm gonna have to run that boss 200 sometimes for a very small chance at nothing. Like,
Hmm.
and to do it the right way, right? Of
Yeah.
legitimately grinding is a lot longer than the purchasing of the mats. So, okay, we did find at least one positive, but predominantly bad. Um,
Predominantly.
predominantly, just don't do it. Just don't dupe it, right? Just don't
Just don't do
dupe
it.
it. Yeah.
We should do like a like the like 90s dare commercials, but just don't dupe it. We'll just do them as yeah, anti-duping ads.
Yeah, I like that. Don't dupe it, stupid. Mm, It's catchy.
Oh man. Yep.
I'm just saying, maybe so BlizzCon next year, right? Maybe we get
Yeah. Yeah.
shirts that says "Don't dupe it, stupid." Uh, yeah,
Maybe so.
we as a podcast do not have merch, or a
It's
merch
true.
store, or
It's true.
anything. But
Hmm.
if people can get behind this, maybe we can make a T-shirt. Don't dupe it, stupid. The Diablo Podcast. Maybe, maybe. Did we nail it? Did we
Maybe.
get? Is that a good idea?
Maybe.
Is that
For
a bad
sure.
idea? It's an
Yeah, I don't know.
idea. So it's possibly the greatest t-shirt idea we've ever had
It's true.
in the history of this podcast. 81 episodes is strong. This is the 81st. Did you know that?
I did not. That's amazing.
81.
81.
Didn't talk about 80. Didn't talk about 75. Didn't talk about 70. We haven't talked about shit. I think it's since 50. 81 does not feel as spectacular. It's not as
You know what we should do for
monumental.
episode 100?
Hmm.
Episode 100, we should mention it.
Be like, hey, this is
It's episode 100.
this is kind of a big deal. Actually, I think it's our 3 year anniversary next month. 4 year anniversary, 3 year, four. I don't even know. So it's
It's been so many
it's
times.
been some years,
Yeah.
and we've been talking about stuff. Uh, Predominantly Diablo based, occasional T-shirts. Um, for a while, we talked just about robes, and then we got the robes. I haven't worn the robe in a little bit. For those of you
I didn't
guys,
get a robe. I'm not a shill.
But every time I wear that robe, you're like, ooh, maybe I could sell out.
Maybe I
Cash
could.
those checks.
Ain't no robe in the books for me.
It's
So,
true. Um, okay. Duping aside, last little point with the intention on a skill rework and playing more this season, what's something that you think you would like to see tackled in the next year, right? We know, I believe that Infernal Hordes are being targeted next season, right? With Chaos. So for you, what's left? What would you like to see tackled and ideally reworked or expanded on that just feels lackluster in today's game?
oh boy. Um, the problem is that what I truly desire the most to be worked on, I know will not be. So even mentioning it feels like a waste of space.
Do it.
Um, PvP. I want
No,
arena so bad. I want arena so bad. Like literally want it so bad. I mean, yeah, it would be super fun. Like I don't care if they kind of go the immortal route and give us cookie cutter builds. Like instead of playing my Sork, I just play a Sork that has a certain toolkit. And I can change the whatever. I don't know how they want to do it, but like it doesn't even have to be like like an attempt at balance is all I'm asking. An attempt at balance. I don't expect it to be balanced. It's like people that play, any PvP in an RPG and expect it to be 100% balanced. That's a pretty tough gig, especially when you factor in loot and skill trees and how different characters can be built. That said, I loved PvPing in Diablo 4. And I haven't done it in a long time because it's just there's nobody there. No one's super into it. Like except for me apparently. I'm sure there's people out there, but I don't know where they are. We need a PvP server. Like give me the ability to like jump on um Diablo 4 PvP server. Like let me opt into it, right? So that like I'm going to a server where I know other people want to play PvP. Um that would be super fun. But I would like to see like arena style combat, like 2v2, 3v3, something like that would be really fun. I mean, yeah, PvP. I like PvP. It's super fun. It is way more interesting to me to play other humans than it is to play a computer on a repeating pattern. Eventually, you learn the pattern, that's done. But PvP and playing against another player is the possibilities are endless. What can happen? It's infinitely more interesting to me and satisfies little bits of my brain. So I would love PvP. That would be amazing. I don't think that's going to happen, and I don't think they should invest in that because I'm pretty sure the market for that is very small. So unless you want to like please me and the other 6 guys in the world that really love Diablo PvP, you probably shouldn't. Probably should lean into the Paragon boards. That probably needs some love. We probably need to look at them Paragon boards because they're pretty sus. They're not great. They weren't great before launch. They weren't great pre-launch. They're not great during launch, and they're not great now. Um, they're pretty bad. But
that is.
that I would say Paragon boards probably the most important to
I
me.
want to. I want to come.
Besides, PvP.
Well, let's table Paragon for a second. I want to come back to PvP. Path of Exile did an April Fool's PoE Battle Royale PvP
Okay.
event.
Okay.
Did you play it?
No.
It was the only time in an ARPG that I genuinely enjoyed and could not pry myself away from playing.
Really?
I don't like
Okay.
battle royales. I don't play Fortnite or Apex or any of them just because I'm like I don't like the FPS of it all. But
Yeah.
the way it worked was you would wake up on the beach as a level 1 character of your selection with an empty board. And you would then have to start moving inward as you would in a battle royale. And along the way you would fight some monsters. You had your basic, your basic attack, and then you would get your skill gems, but it was all random, right? You would get random skill gems
Hmm.
and you'd have to start quickly assembling what your character will be. Like, oh, I'm a ranger. I finally got, split arrow. I'm a sorcerer. I got fireball. Now I'm going to go to try and kill a few,
Mhm.
few more things. Maybe I'll change my spell accordingly. And then I'm going to have to engage both with the monsters that are there, as well as other players who are trying to take me out simultaneously as well fighting monsters. And the the dual focus of trying to level your character up and get them into a good spot while also deal with other players, and then the strategy therein of like, should I rush the other player, should I try and hang back
Mhm.
here, was
Sounds pretty cool.
right.
Sounds pretty cool.
What
Yeah.
has floored me is that PoE did nothing with that. They said they were going to bring it back in some form and didn't. It really works. Now, how does Diablo do that? I don't know, but maybe just dropping in level one characters with the traditional, like, hey, you get 10 skill points to start with, go for
Yep.
it.
And everyone gets 10 skills points, and that's it.
That's it.
And yeah,
Um,
something to that
and
effect. Yeah, some limiting factor.
you could level up a couple. Maybe you find, um, obviously you couldn't enchant your gear, right? You couldn't do all sorts of those bits and pieces, but
Right.
I would play that so much because it always felt kind of fair. And eventually people did figure out strategies, and it didn't last that long in terms of the actual event. I think it was only about a week. But it was ridiculously awesome. And I
Hmm.
felt like that was the wave of ARPG PvP. Now, I will agree with you. I think the arena is also pretty fun. Um, but having tasted that, it's a shame you never got to play it because again, it was pretty limited. It's like, oh man, that's a game that I could suck a lot of time into. And then there were cosmetic rewards as a result. You got a a hideout decoration, which was uh, uh, their giant chicken on a stick, right? The winner winner chicken dinner, right? Um,
Hmm.
so you got that. It's a Roa, but it whatever. Having cosmetic rewards for PvP, which we already have in the game anyway,
And they haven't changed in a year and a half.
even though I thought they were supposed to rotate out every season.
They're the same ones.
Right.
I had literally grinded them in the first like month the game was out.
Yeah.
It was like, this is awesome. Holy shit, this rules. And then that they're still there. I could still get them right now. Like it's just nothing's.
Yeah.
It's really weird that that never changed. Kind of sucks a
Yeah.
little bit. But
No.
you know what? You know what did it for me? With like I didn't. I was not a PvP fan in Diablo 2. My experience with PvP in Diablo 2 was someone joining the game and going hostile, me going fuck 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 fuck, going back to town. Right? Like,
Right.
nope, not for me. I didn't think it was fun. It was usually trolls, and that was about it. There were like dual games I joined, but it wasn't like fun, engaging gameplay. It was running out and getting one shot by um, oh god, the homing arrow from the Amazon. I mean, all the stuff, right? There were so many ways to get one shot when you ran out of the into the Bloodmore there. But no, I think for me it was Heroes of the Storm.
Mm.
It was, I remember when they released the wizard from Diablo 3, Li Ming, on Heroes of the Storm, and I it made me mad at Diablo 3 because I was like, this is how the sorcerer or the wizard should play in Diablo 3. Like, this in Heroes of the Storm was so fun. It was so good. And just like the toolkit in a PvP setting was amazing. Now, was it a full Diablo wizard with the gear you have and all the skills? No, it was very limited skill set, but it worked and it was fun. It was super fun. And I think that if they could find some way to take a smaller version of that and put it into Diablo 4 somehow, or just give me Heroes of the Storm 2 or something, or give me more Heroes of the Storm, like start putting that back on the content updates. I'd play that again. That was like my itch, that, or it scratched my itch, I should say. So yeah, I really think that Heroes of the Storm was what made me realize how much a really good PvP system in Diablo would be awesome.
Well, I'm not in disagreement. I would love to see more PvP in some way. I think having more modes also. Sometimes you just you want to engage with the game, but you want to do it differently. And then like playing a PvP part of it, you're just like, okay, that was fun. All right, now I want to prioritize. I think being able to switch back and forth is a good thing because Diablo's current options are very samey. It is like, hey, can you kill all these monsters in this time period? Can you kill all the monsters in
Right.
this dungeon? Can you kill all the like? Okay, yeah, and a little reprieve and then back to it. A little reprieve and back to it. Always great. Um, what I would like to see changed, and you mentioned Paragon, and I've harped a lot on it. What I've been thinking about a lot lately as I've been playing is I'd like to see the open world killed. I
Build like completely.
Yeah, I would like if the open world was not open. If it was a single player instance that you can invite people in via the party system that they currently have that is in game.
Okay.
But we lose a lot of quality of life by having this open world there, right?
Hmm.
At no point can I pause the game. I can't pause the game at any point because of the open world, because so many things are happening simultaneously. It's not because of monsters, right? It's because of other players that are out there sharing the same, what did they call it at some point? Shard, right? Um,
Hmm.
I can't do that, right? But the world itself always feels relatively empty because it's split between so many different torments anyway,
Yep.
that I often just wonder, outside of these world bosses, which could just also still be separate instances that you get invited to, that you click a portal to, and suddenly now you are sharing a space, and like, hey, those rules of pausing don't apply. I would, I just don't find any fun in the open world anymore. If anything, it feels like with the way the power scales, right? If you are a entry level torment druid slowly making your way towards whatever your goal is, and you have a bunch of sorks zipping through things around you,
We do zip. We
right?
zip pretty good.
It doesn't feel fun. It,
Right.
them being in the open world didn't make your experience better. If anything, it made it worse because all the monsters around you are dead. It wasn't that fun. Maybe you got some loot, but all you feel is ineffective and impotent, if you will.
Yeah.
And it,
I mean, that's the way it felt in. There were several seasons where I had feelings similar, right? Like I remember the season of the Meteor Wizard when they dropped the Starfall Coronet, and we finally got like a chance to kind of make a meteor build work. Spoiler alert: Lightning Spear was better, but we thought Meteor was going to be it, right? But that was the same season where they made the charge build for the Barbarian good. So if you can imagine an open world scenario where I'm like, "Ooh, bad guy, meteor," and then Barb's like, "Charge!" right out of my meteor, right? Like just consistently knocking them out of. It was awful. And then I have a buddy who was playing a Barb too, so it made it even worse. So yeah, it was. I mean, yeah, it's you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
it also could add longevity to the game. Now, hear me
Hmm.
out. At some point, those Diablo servers are going to have to go on offline, right?
Sure.
In
Okay.
its current iteration, there is no option for offline play.
Hmm.
If the game all exists as a single instance for that player, it should then be able, to the best of my understanding, to be ported over to a single player experience, right? To an offline experience. So that,
I mean, theoretically, one would think yes.
which kind of goes into that whole stop killing games kind of thing. Um, Diablo 3 can still persist, right? It has that offline functionality. Um,
Hmm.
Diablo 2 still has that. Diablo 1 has that. But Diablo 4 is the first Diablo that could not exist at some point because 10, 15 years down the road, that open world can't be reproduced in a fashion that exists, right?
Right.
So all that
Yeah.
time, all those cosmetics, all that kind of stuff will just poof. And I get that that's part of it. Like that does happen. But it would be great if it didn't. It would be
Right.
it would be great if it was kept around. So I would like to
Sure.
see the open world die. I would hope that in whatever the next expansion brings, that like we maybe have that functionality. That if anything, I just want to be able to pause. There's plenty of like Diablo gets the commentary of being a dad game, right? I'm a dad gamer. I get called out to do a bunch of shit. Like, hey, can you come up here? Like, oh, wait a second, I got to get to town. Hold on. Like, um, I'm in a boss fight. I can't actually leave it. I'm not asking to be able to leave during boss fights, but a pause. Just give me a pause for just a moment
Yeah.
so I can go.
Just a sec. Go do the thing that everyone thinks that we're all doing anyway.
Yeah, go
Yep.
deal with whatever the nonsense is that is a part of my daily life.
Yeah.
Because I know it can be done. I see it in Path of Exile too, right? At
Hmm.
every option I have to pause, I'm taking it because I can, or just opening up my menu will pause the game.
Hmm.
The amount of times I've accidentally like opened up the menu and like shit, I'm getting attacked. I can't do that.
Right.
Like what? Oh, I almost died last season because I'm just trying to quick go to the reliquary and like, oh crap, there's like 40 tabs here. I need to go back. And why doesn't it auto pause? Because of the open world. So let's get rid of it. Let's cut the open world. I'm not making friends out there. Like,
Yeah, it's fair.
hey, we're friends now. We're leveling in the same spot. No, we're ignoring each other and maybe our paths cross. The most interaction I'll have is during any sort of hell tide or witch tide or
With people
whatever tide.
spamming emotes.
Yeah, everybody's doing about the same thing, but I'm just as effective with or without them. The only other like summoning the maiden is the one exception of like, oh, thanks for dropping that in. When
Right.
predominantly every time I've been doing it, it's like, oh, it's just me. It's just me.
Yeah.
It's just me. So let's get
Yeah.
rid of it. Let's get rid of the open world. We don't need it anymore.
Kill it. Kill it dead.
It was a cool idea. It's just I don't
It ain't
I
it.
don't I don't think
It
we need
ain't
it.
it, fam.
I don't think we need it.
I would agree. I mean, I like the open world because of the like just being able to see it like from a lore perspective, but it's superficial at best. Like it's not functional the way that you'd
Right.
want it to be. Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I don't do I want it to go away? I don't know about that, but I'm not opposed to seeing more instances exist or just giving the option to pause. I
Yeah.
mean, because like I'm in a nightmare dungeon, let me pause the game.
Yeah. It's just me here.
I'm instanced, right? Like surely that technology exists. I mean, it might not, I don't know, but I assume it does.
It, I would hope. But
I mean, yeah, I guess that's the truth. I would hope.
I'm not opposed to like again the big like being able to travel by horseback from city to city. I think that's awesome. I
Mhm.
just don't need to have 40 other people from different parts of the country also coming along on that journey with me for the sense of like making the world seem like it's inhabited because it's predominantly not anyway. um,
Right.
it it seems like it should be, but it's just not. Um,
Yeah.
it it
Yeah.
is still fun to run around, bust up some monster heads on your way from one destination to another, but overall, I don't need all these other people there, and I think
Yeah.
it's holding everything back. So,
Yeah.
and also, it might then, if we didn't have it, might encourage group finder. Group finder is still lackluster when you do actually want to find people for groups.
I haven't even used it. I haven't used it one time.
I will dip in every now and then, and I was really hoping after Vessel that it would take off, and it just didn't.
Just didn't.
I think it was.
Yeah.
I think in some ways parts of it goes to like it just came too late. People had already kind of locked into how they got the people to go group with them.
Hmm.
From a hardcore perspective, you don't want to group up with randoms necessarily as often. Um,
Yeah.
and then the real big pull for it was supposed to be the Dark Citadel, which nobody's really doing anymore. So,
Right. Yeah.
eh, either way, if I didn't have to see a bunch of bozos running around the world, if you want, like towns could still have people in them, I guess. I don't know. It's like
I guess. I guess.
I'm already like trying to figure out like why, and like part of it is, I mean, if you see people with cool cosmetics on, that draws business, right? Like you need to see people in their cosmetics.
Sure.
But the shop already reminds you so consistently that it exists that maybe you don't,
Right. Maybe it's not necessary.
right? I get
Maybe
notifications
we're just good without.
from the shop like all the time, like, hey, did you know there's a new item? There's a new item here. You should look at it. I'm not going to go away until you look at it, so please look at it.
Yeah.
Hey, hey, I got a new staff and you want to look at it? See? Like that's
Hey, there's a new free reward. Hey, come click on me. Hey, come get that free thing. Oh, by the way, here's a bunch of sorceress stuff.
that the staff looks really good on you. You know what else would look really good on you? This sweet
2,800
armor,
platinum.
and it's only going to cost you $40. So, you're going to compliment that staff or what?
It's
I'm just saying.
the next step.
Yeah, it's an evolution of sorts. Okay, well, we're pushing here a little bit. Any last things that you can think of as we're trailing out here?
No, I mean, it just like I said, still playing the season, still enjoying it. Not going crazy with it, but taking my time and pacing myself through it has made this season very pleasant. Kind of like I had said before, like if you're feeling burnout, then turn it off, play something else for a while. There's other stuff, give it a break. I feel like the most hardcore of us, um, will like hate play Diablo. Don't do that. Walk away. Do something else, right? And I get it, man, because I've been there before. But like, it's sometimes it's just there is a lot of good in the game, and I'm having a lot of fun with it, right? I'm excited to see what changes are coming down the road. I'm excited to see whatever everyone's talking about. This damn call that you guys were on. I'm really excited for to see what's coming that everyone's excited about, right? I'm hoping I'm excited for it too. I assume that I am. If it's Diablo related and there's content, I'm gonna be excited for it. Um, I just want more story because I think that the unsung hero again of this season, and we've said it for several seasons, has been the little bits of story that we've gotten in the Sins of the Rod Room. Like, please just keep drip feeding me story. Like it's yes, that keeps me excited and salivating. So yeah, no, super enjoying the season still. Still playing. Definitely gonna play a bunch this weekend, and we'll see where we're at. Next time.
uh, the only thing on my mind is I would like Diablo 4 on Switch too. I
Mm,
have been enjoying my little handheld, right?
hmm.
It's got the power to do it.
Hmm.
So I would like that to happen. I want portable Diablo 4 so I can
Yeah.
be just when my wife is upstairs, I don't have to come downstairs. I can just bring that on up. Like we can just
Yeah.
chill. That would be pretty cool. Or my
Yeah.
son's, on the PlayStation. I want to like go and just chill. Yeah, like make it happen.
Jeff.
Why isn't it here yet? I think it's weird. I'm not
Why isn't
advocating
this happening yet?
like to buy Diablo 4 again, but I will. So make it happen now, like right now. Okay, there it is. We're ending on a complaint about not having more Diablo 4, which is it's a good place to be. Um, and we'll get back together. We'll get Nineball in here, who will give us his opioid infused adventures in Sanctuary, which I personally cannot wait to hear about. Um, and come back and see how season 9 is treating us. At that point, it'll have been 6 weeks, right? At that midway point of a season, just trying to see, like, hey, where are the legs on this? Where are we going to go? And then, of course, other conversations will more than likely come up at some point. Uh,
Oh yeah.
and sound off if there's something that you feel like we should talk about in our next episode. I'm curious if there's something you've been like, why haven't you guys been talking about X, Y, or Z? Well, let us know what we should talk about, and we'll come back and have that chat. In the meantime, let's close it out as we always do with a moo, moo, moo.
Woo.